Give a big round of the hand. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round of the hand. Give a big round. Give a big round. Big round. Give a big round. Give a big.
We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the parents' lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the parents' lounge is the cure to staying sane. Welcome to another edition of the Parents Lounge, a very special Thanksgiving episode. We have a fantastic show. We even brought our guests right in out of the chute because that's how we roll. We don't mess around. We bring important people in, and we don't keep them waiting. We have a green room where there's virtual snacks and.
If you're angry, I didn't put them in the green room. You can just say it, Kayla. I didn't mean.
No, I like them here. We don't do green room.
So passive aggressive.
Greg's already drinking. Dude, when am I not passive aggressive? Please. Jamie Kaler, Jason Gowan, Justin Ruppel, joined by our special guest tonight, Jeff Lewis and Greg Cromer, making a return. He's on a 5-second delay because he's in Central California. I believe it's very far away. Greg, how are you, brother?
I don't know why.
1, 2.
2, 3, 4. Jeff, how are you tonight?
I'm great.
Oh, it's terrible.
Wait a second. Hold on.
Go ahead, Greg.
Great.
Give us a. We told Greg to come in early.
I don't know what to do.
Greg, if you didn't
I
want
don't know what you know.
to
I was at
do
Daughter's
the show, you
volleyball.
could have just said.
Yeah. And he wonders why he hasn't booked
Instead
a
of
virtual
putting
job
a
in a
small
couple years.
Have you
I
restarted
don't think he
restart?
wonders.
Oh, this is
So
terrible.
Greg will be playing the part of the child in this show that we constantly talk to, who just ignores me, because that's what's happening. Do you guys do this? Because just now I was like, Hannah, do you listen? Do you hear me? And I then after like saying it 7 times, I go, just give me vocal confirmation. And she's like, yeah, Dad. And I go, Argh! So I feel like that's Cromer tonight.
Maybe she's on the headphones.
Cromer can just sit in the corner and drink, I guess. And
Whatever it is,
this
I
is
agree.
basically a reason so he doesn't have to sit with his wife and try to watch
You
some
could give him a
rom-com.
monologue of sorts.
Did you restart your TRS-80?
5, 4, 3, 2.
I unplugged it and plugged it back. Yeah.
Mhm. It's all coming together, man.
Um,
Listen, we have a crazy show because we are talking parental mental health. I know Ruppel's dealing with family stuff. Gowan's always dealing with family stuff. Cromer's hanging on by a thread. Jeff is taking over the world, and I'm trying to get ready for Thanksgiving. Everybody ready for the big holiday?
Not really.
Define ready.
Justin, are you ready for the holiday?
Define ready. I mean, like.
Are you stocked up on alcohol? Have you gone? I went to Costco yesterday, by the way, which I mean, they might as well just have James Caan and set up Rollerball, because that place is the gateway to hell at this point.
How
It's
old
like,
are your references? James
Dude.
Caan on the set of Rollerball.
I could, well, okay, fine. Then more like
Isn't there a
Chaplin.
There's a
Like
new
Chip.
rollerball, isn't it?
Yeah, it's terrible, though. I just watched the old Rollerball recently. It
Very
still
good.
holds up. Yeah, Jimmy
Yeah.
Caan.
Rollerball. My God.
I watch Rollerball. That's a different kind of movie.
It's the J formation, says Frankie Muse. Absolutely. And that's why Greg Cromer's not really clicking tonight. He doesn't have a J in his name. Let's all, you know what we should do?
Terrible.
Let's just sit
I
here and
apologize. I don't know.
let's just comment on Cromer like like staring at his screen, like my dad when he couldn't figure out how to work the remote control.
Where
Justin,
is he? Is he in
How
Ojai?
do you
Where
do
is
the
he?
dot? You spell DOT, DOT, DOT?
Mhm.
He looks like he's in a college dorm
Stairs.
on the first day before he's decorated.
He's an underground basement.
Yeah.
His beard hasn't fully come in yet. I like that. He wants to make
Well,
sure
it's
that
no shave November, so
Should I not be in the
he's running out of time.
Oh, that's right. It's November.
God.
it is. It is. What would Jeff Goldblum think about Cromer's predicament this evening?
I think it's I think Cromer might be stuck in a parallel dimension, right? Or it's possible. It is very possible that it could be aliens.
Yes.
Or he
He
might
might
have
be
a
in the
cold.
bunker underneath Jurassic Park, Jeff.
It's true.
What's that? What?
He might be in the bunker underneath Jurassic Park.
Ah, ha ha. But as you remember, in the fourth one, we went back to the bunker. So we reinstalled better communication. This is more like I don't have a metaphor for it. It's just like it's where Kanye is staying right now. That outdoor mud hut tent. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen the pictures? No?
No.
Okay.
I mean, there's some good Goldblum references too, because he was one of the bad guys in the original Death Wish. He's one of the criminals. He's one of the rapists.
That's true.
How
Yeah.
are you getting that much older, dude?
mean-
It's Death Wish. What are you referencing Death Wish for?
Because Goldblum's it's one of his first movies. He's the bad guy in it. He's the killer.
I know, but he's also never
What
mind.
year did that movie come out? Let me look.
I'm gonna say 74. I watched The Mechanic the other night with Jan Michael
74,
Vincent.
you are correct.
No.
74.
What about telephone?
Please keep in mind that we are simulcasting this on TikTok, so just keep your keep
TikTok.
that-
Yeah.
Can I say
I
that-
saw Trolls. I saw Trolls keep the band together with my kids.
You saw that in the theaters?
I did.
Hello,
We got
TikTok.
So here's what's really cool about where we live. We live close enough to Universal Studios that they send out little premiere stuff to my
thanks, Keenan.
my neighborhood. You're just outside the line, I think, Jeff, because you're close to me, but you're just outside the line.
I know.
And so we get
Don't tell the slews of fans where Jeff lives.
we get
Yeah,
a guest
nobody
pass.
knows.
I'll tell them the exact address if people want to know. So we go up, and I had to sit through 91 minutes of Justin Timberlake like reliving his boy band days. And they fit 200 songs into 91 minutes. Like there's a montage. Every montage is like, do the hustle straight into like an NSYNC, like it's 75 songs in one little clip.
Oh my God, is that many songs?
It's a
was
lot of songs.
There was a lot in the first one.
They are pretty. The Trolls are pretty good. My kids love. Hannah's already seen it twice. She went again with her friend. What's the topic today? Says Critter Nation. What should be the topic? Here was my topic. Holiday movies that we like to like relive.
We like or a kid like?
Screw the kids. It's
I got mine. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, that was mine. That's
That
mine
was pretty
too.
good.
And Ruppel's gonna rip you, dude. That movie's like 30 years old. What? How can you talk about movies from?
No. I was alive during that time, so I'm not going to say crap.
He'd be at the museum and they'd go, "Hey, did you see the Monet? Monet? That's like 200 years old. Who's doing Monet anymore? What?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
seriously.
The Wheel.
Go
that's
see
like
some artists from
3
this
million years
century.
old.
Ugh.
We got Love
Hey,
Actually.
Beethoven? Jesus Christ, that's like the 1600s. What the? Trading Places. So that is, I guess that's a Chris. Oh, we got to have Homie back on.
Yeah, Homie's one of the elves in Elf.
So is his
really?
twin. So his twin brother's the
brother.
other one. So they're starting to do Comic-Cons as like the celebration.
The two best Are you asking the two best Christmas movies or holiday Thanksgiving movies?
Movies
It's
you
about
watch
holiday
every
movies.
holiday.
And first of all, everybody, let's let Greg at least say something. So Greg, we're going to leave you a big gap of time for you to speak. Tell us about your favorite Christmas movies, and we won't interrupt. And you can just do kind of a monologue like you're alone on a stage the way you like it, and go.
I heard Christmas
you
movies,
high?
so I'm just going to talk.
Are you just high? He might be high.
You didn't
Oh my
give him
God.
enough time, Taylor. He
I
had
know.
a 15-second.
I wish.
And go.
Literally, this is ready.
Yeah.
This is what I'm hearing. and then Christmas movie. And if you
We need closed
2,
captioning.
1, go. I'm hearing.
Honestly, I don't even think he faked it. I think it just came back to us the same way. Listen, Greg can hang in the corner. Just stick him in the corner and let him be for a while, because it's not gonna, unless
my
you want to
God.
punch out and punch back in and see if you can figure out what you're doing, brother. But I can't. It's fun for a while. Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Cromer from Better
Yeah.
Things. Dude, listen, I know times are hard, and listen, I know we've been on strike and a pandemic, and as actors we haven't worked as much, but did you drop your Wi-Fi down to like that it's like a gerbil on a little treadmill that's keeping it going? It's like, it is weird though. Here's my question about Wi-Fi. Why do why are there different levels
I'll try to
of Wi-Fi
I'll try to go out and back in again.
where they charge you,
Oh,
right? They
what's
go,
that?
hey, it's about, why shouldn't Wi-Fi just be like, I either want Wi-Fi or I don't want Wi-Fi? Why do I have to choose?
Yeah.
Hey, you want Wi-Fi? You got it. Hey, do you want good Wi-Fi where where the signal and your porn will come in much faster? It'll be great. And you go,
That's
yeah, I
what they're
like
really
that.
saying.
That's
And
what
then
I
there's,
have.
there's like 4 levels, and then they go, hey,
But we've got
this is,
we have extenders, all kinds of different things around the house. I don't know why this isn't working. This is the first time it has ever done this.
are you in the same spot where you were before?
Well, he's actually broadcasting from his panic room.
It's lead. It's lined with
Yes,
lead.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Punch out.
This is
Take
where I
your
was the
Jodie
last 2
Foster,
times
we
did
love
no,
her.
Yeah, you sound terrible. Listen, we can't do this for an
It's a
hour.
lot
It'd be awful.
Yeah.
It's a lot of aluminum
I'm gonna
foil.
kick you out if you want. Take your computer, go sit like on top of your modem, and then punch back in if you would, please. And then we'll talk heavily about
I'll try to
Cromer.
punch back in.
I was
Please
really
do.
interested in finding out what his favorite holiday movie was.
Yeah, Greg, what's your favorite holiday movie before you go?
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Whatever Jason said. All right, kick him out. Get him out of here. Go find some Wi-Fi and come back in.
Oh my God. It
Get out,
looks like
get
he
him
was
out.
on Mars.
I love Cromer too.
I like a little Die Hard. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Oh. All right. I don't know if this is going to be the hottest topic we talk about tonight. I don't know if it's a joke, if somebody's fooling around. They're remaking Die Hard.
No.
He's gonna do it again.
They're remaking it
That's a joke.
next year. It comes out 2024. Guess
Who?
Guess who's John McClane?
Wait, I got it. You don't tell me. I got to
I'm
guess.
not telling anybody.
Is it an obvious choice or is it not?
In his mind, I'm sure it's an absolutely obvious choice.
David, wait, hold on.
Does anyone know this? Did anyone read this somewhere? I saw it somewhere. Honestly, it could have been a joke, but it was dead serious. I couldn't tell. But they're remaking Die Hard. There's certain things, dude. Why? It's like It's a Wonderful Life with like, Dr. Ken Young or something.
Jason
I don't know what's
Statham?
happening.
No.
He's a little old for it, I think.
Well, what about who's the guy that does all the action movies now? What's his name?
It's
all the
got to be
same.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
It's
the only
not.
person-
Oh, is it Chris Pratt?
No, it's a
Is he
guy who he has done a few action things. No big, a couple movies here and there. He came from a very, very famous TV show. No, Pete Davidson would actually be that would be a better.
Okay,
Zac
I would
Efron.
actually watch that.
Wait,
movie.
he came from a famous. I didn't hear the clues.
Super famous TV show he came from. And he has played a couple of adventurous characters. No, Bob Odenkirk would be great
Wait a
too.
second, hold on.
Chalamet.
A super famous television show
Super famous. One of the most famous TV shows of all time.
of all time.
And that's
Oh my
what's
God.
crazy. You still can't get it.
Wait, of all time, a sitcom
Yes.
or
Yes.
sitcom?
Yes. Yes.
Was it Hank Azaria?
Oh, no, but that's a
Wait a
good.
second, but he's young. He's got to
It's
be
Lisa-
young, right?
It's Lisa
Oh,
Simpson.
Tavin.
He's relative. He's It's
Huge show. It's the show was originally a remake of a British show.
Is it John Krasinski?
Oh,
It
wait
is
a
John
second.
Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
Alan got it. John Krasinski is
That
going to
was
play
good.
Die Hard.
That's
Jerry
really.
Seinfeld. Oh my God, I love that. Desi Arnaz. Hey,
Oh, my
Justin, you want to? Hey, hold on. Let Justin rip on Matt for his Desi Arnaz.
Look, who's Matt? Matt? Oh, well, listen. What's wrong with Desi Arnaz?
Oh, I mentioned Charles Bronson. I'm old. Desi Arnaz, and all of a sudden,
You're not the host of the show, Matt. You can say whatever you want.
I thought
Grandma
it
here
was-
is dissing Wi-Fi and
you
then
said
mentioning
famous
things that
TV
are
show.
hand crank capability.
I was going to think in Sid Caesar.
the dude. I like the guy who does Jack Reacher, the new Jack Reacher round.
I was hoping
Yeah.
it was the ghost of Caesar Romero.
Well, no, I think it should be Krasinski or somebody like him.
I don't
Because
know, man.
Well, he's done Jack Ryan. He does Jack Ryan on.
I know, but think about this. Just go with me on this. Bruce Willis came right off of Moonlighting,
of course.
and so was known for being kind of a funny, sarcastic, whatever. So when he came into that action role, we didn't know him as an action star. So it was his first jump into action. And he was really, the reason why he was so good at McClane is because he was funny.
Yes.
Come out to the coast, have a few
Can
laughs.
we go back one step? Because
Yes.
I think this is one of the movies that they should, there's like 10 or 12 movies they should not remake.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm
And
with Jeff.
I think
It had
that's one
nothing
of
to
them.
do with him. Why can't you just write a new movie?
Yes.
You guys, do you know how old you sound?
But I'm sorry, but The Godfather, what about they redid The Godfather? Would you be okay with that?
Yes.
No.
You know why? Do you know why? Do you want to hear why?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do.
You guys are actors. There are only 6 scripts. Man versus man, man versus another man versus God, man versus nature, man versus himself. It's
What a man
all
versus a
the
woman.
same
There's no
crap.
women in any movies. There hasn't been a woman in a movie. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. It's the same 6 types of
Okay, all right.
story. Allegorical stories. So when you're like, why are they remaking? Because the same look, if you don't want to remake it, why did they make the movie Lion King? Very original movie. Wrong. Shakespeare made over and over and over and over and over again. And then yes, they remade the Lion King again.
Disagree.
They made a movie.
Disagree. What does everybody think? There are certain movies that are perfect. You're going to remake Back to the Future? Are you going to remake Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Would that
If
where
they
would
could-
be the allegorical?
You could make a continuation. They tried to, and River Phoenix died. They even tried it with Shia LaBeouf, and it didn't kind of click. You move on, but that you could re-show. Everybody watches Die Hard all year long. It's still you can't not watch it. It's that good.
Then it'll be the one that everybody watches. I got bad news for you. The new Star Wars series made a lot more money and is a lot bigger fanship than the old Star Wars series. And there's a lot of people saying the same things you were. Why are you
But they're not.
remaking Star Wars?
They didn't remake Star Wars. It's a continuation of the storyline and that world.
I heard a 0.5% of the fans for sure were like, don't even go back there. Don't even restart it. Don't even touch it. Just, we got to know,
I didn't like the first one. Anyway. Matt is absolutely right. Like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, certain things are kismet. It's an actor meets a part, and so they tried to remake Death Wish. Was it Bruce Willis or somebody? They tried to
Bruce
remake.
Willis.
Listen, making a great movie is lightning in a bottle. If it's an overall story where it's like can be retold like Shakespeare, yes, of course, it's been done a million times on stage or wherever. But certain movies, you
Some
can
of my
do
favorite
an
movies of all
extenuation.
time. Some of my favorite movies of all time, some of my favorite TV shows of all time are remakes. Straight up.
Like what?
The Office.
The British one's so good, but they are different. They're different. But
No,
yes,
British one doesn't even come close to the new one.
I totally disagree
I
myself.
think
That's
they're both
fine.
good.
I
was
think
one season-
They're both good.
The first season is a shot for shot like the first few,
Yeah.
One
but then it's a
season.
completely different show.
I hated the first season of The American Office. It was what happened afterwards where it grew a heart and a conscience. The
Okay.
From
British
season
one is
2 on, it's pretty flawless until Michael.
British.
You know what?
the Brit-
Actually, Critter Nation 3000 just
That's what
he's
you-
absolutely right. The Thing is a remake. It was a
Yeah.
James Arness film from the 50s. You know what? Airplane is really a remake because
Yeah.
it was based almost.
Airport
Here's what I will tell
57.
you.
Yeah.
But
Airport
you know what they
57.
didn't do? They didn't take a movie that was that famous and
Yes.
timeless.
All right, here. Have you seen Ocean's 11? It's a piece of crap.
Okay.
The first one.
Ocean's 11.
Yeah,
The second one with
it's really
Brad
good. It's still watchable. Oh, I like the second one. Do you not like the second one?
You're not listening to me.
No, the first.
Ocean's 11
the
is a
original
Frank
one.
Sinatra film.
Yeah, I know, but but it's terrible. It's a terrible movie.
Right. So the remake, Ocean's 11 with Brad Pitt, is 1,000 times better.
Listen, we're on the same page.
No,
Here's what
we're
I'm
not.
saying. Yes, we are. Listen.
No, no.
Remake movies. Okay, there's a movie with Ben Affleck. It's a Philip K. Dick. It's it's science fiction. It's I'm always like, yeah, what's that called? Remake that.
Matt Damon. You mean Matt Damon?
No, Ben Affleck is in one. It's a Philip K.
Is it the one
Dick.
where he has a list he makes?
Yes.
My
memory is-
friends,
Yeah.
my
Johnny
friends
Mnemonic.
watching from
Like there's
TikTok-
certain movies where you're like, oh, that was so close.
My
Oh,
friends watching from TikTok are saying something that they're pretty right about. They're saying they should remake stuff that didn't have the technology then to do what they wanted to.
Yes, that's pretty smart. Oh, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Greg Cromer is in his attic or basement or a bunker
God.
or he's in a shed or he's out back.
You have a
I turned-
sheen over.
I'm pretty sure that's
Turned
actually the room from the
Turned
Amityville
everything off.
Horror.
I pulled the cars down the street. Is it working?
Can you eat? Hey, here's the real question. What's a movie that should be remade today that didn't really work very well, but you were like, it's
Paycheck.
close? What's that? Paycheck! Get in the wall! That's what I love. People are like, why do you do the show live? And I go, exactly for Dan Wally. Paycheck
why I
should be
go.
remade. And you're right, it's about technology. The technology is better now and it would be way better. Okay, Greg, a movie that should be remade.
It's not working. I'm booting myself again.
See you, buddy. We'll take another shot. Go next door.
Oh
See
my
what you got.
God, this poor guy.
Hey, the guys on TikTok are absolutely right. And Paycheck is one of them. And, you know, there's certain movies, you're right, where the technology wasn't right.
I'll tell you, Zardoz should be remade. Do you remember Zardoz?
What?
Zardoz is a movie
Power Rangers?
with Sean Connery where they worship the Wizard of Oz book. You don't know? You ever heard of that?
What's it
No.
called again?
I'm not kidding. It's called
Czar. Like Russian,
Zardoz.
Russian
Zardoz.
czar? Like CZAR?
It's like Wizard Zardoz. Zardoz. Sean Connery. They worship Wizard of Oz. Or Logan's Run. Logan's Run was very good.
So they've tried to remake Logan's Run many times. And honestly, Logan's Run is kind of a classic of that era. But if you watch it again, I think what Justin's saying and the TikTok people are saying is absolutely right. Logan's Run now, with the technology they have now,
Yeah.
would be phenomenal. They tried it with Total Recall, and it didn't click as well. But there's another, there's the connection thing, but
Oh,
it just
Smith,
doesn't work.
thank you.
Here's the thing.
Zardoz.
Is Die Hard is my favorite action movie of all time.
It's fantastic.
I don't want to see it remade, but also I liked the script and the plot of one guy who is against the whole Nakatomi Plaza thing, and also I want another generation to like it. Now they may not like 1988's version, but they may like 2024's version, and then either A, go back and watch it, or B, then we can talk about something in the middle. Because look, Die Hard, we're talking about my favorite film of all. I mean, the two best action movies of all time, I don't even think it's a debate, are Terminator 2 and Die Hard.
Matrix has got to be up there.
It's number 3.
Wait,
number
3?
Matrix is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Matrix is a perfect film. It's up there with Back to the Future. And let me get a list from people. There's a couple comments I wanted to talk about. I want to hear your perfect films. I think Matrix is a perfect film. And although I enjoyed the sequels, I felt like they almost took away from the beauty of the first. It was. I actually liked the fourth one. I liked the one that came out a couple of years ago. I thought it was actually a pretty good follow up. So what you're talking about, Critter Nation talks about Dune. Although it bothered me that it was just the first act, basically, of Dune. Huh? The first movie is the first act. It's like the first act. But I think it should have been like a 10-hour miniseries or something. But you're right. The technology, Denis Villeneuve or whatever, it's so brilliant.
I do also think Dune was not well written, the first one. I mean,
no, and it was also David Lynch. It wasn't his strength to do that.
Yeah. But this new one is I think it's very good.
I thought so too. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. But he's the same guy. I thought the sequel to Blade Runner 2024 or whatever that is. Is Blade Runner?
Was that Ryan? Was that Ryan?
I loved it. I thought it was so well made. I just loved it. And that guy, that's Villeneuve, right? He did he's got Dune. He did The Arrival as well. God, that guy's such a good director, man.
What's his first name?
Denis Villeneuve, right. I believe.
He's very good. You're right.
Dune remake is poop, says Tabitha. Fight me. LOL.
I don't think.
I think when you see all three, it's 3 acts, and they only did the first act in the first Dune. I think when you see all 3 of them together, and they're probably going to play it all in one movie theater for like 6 hours, I think Dune will be absolutely stunning.
When is that coming out? 2025 or something?
No, the new one's coming out soon, I think, isn't it?
I thought it was delayed because of the strike. I guess
Poltergeist remake was horrible, but honestly, Tombstone's perfect movie. Is that what somebody's saying?
Yeah.
Kurt Russell going ham, and it's still, it's so funny. Sometimes you see an actor go so far over the top, like Gary Oldman in The Professional, and you're like, and you're like, it still works. Where he's like, every line he's like,
Big Trouble in Little China. He's Kurt Russell's huge.
That's Mike Bunet's favorite movie, Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble, it's pretty.
Yeah, he calls it Big Trouble in Little China.
War Game never really goes calm. It's always over the top, isn't it?
With who?
Kurt Russell.
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think. My favorite Kurt Russell movie no one ever talks about, which is Captain Ron.
Captain Ron, he's good in. He's really
great.
Good. He's really good. What's the other one? Overboard. He's pretty good in too.
Yeah, but both of them are he's way out there, and I just love that. I love when an actor does.
Best Kurt Russell film of all time. What is it?
Escape from New York is one of my favorite.
Oh, that's pretty great.
Yeah,
Kurt Russell. Wait, there's so many. Hold on. Let me think.
I'd stay with The Thing.
Wait,
I love The Thing.
Russell. Wait, Kurt Russell. There's a movie.
Yeah.
But
you're right, Justin. You're right. The TikTok kids are right because it's about technology. But I also think, like with Paycheck, or there's so many movies where you walk out and you're like, oh man, it was so close, so close. Like the script's good, it just didn't. The director didn't do a great job. Maybe the acting wasn't right, and you're like, those are the ones that should be remade, as opposed to perfect movies.
Well, but again, Jamie, you and I are destined to do this dance of, I agree with you, but I the second you say that, I'm like, yeah, but I have a running list of songs. And last time we went golfing, I talked about this. There's a whole bunch of songs that I like the second version of it better than I like the first version. The remake or the cover, if you will, the cover song. In music, we do it all the time and we love it. I mean,
Narcolepsy, Tango and Cash, baby.
Oh, you want it remade or Tango and Cash is a perfect film?
No, they're talking about What should be remade? These are the remade ones. Social Network could be made about Twitter X. Did anyone watch the Uber one or WeWork?
I watched WeWork. That was pretty good.
WeWork was pretty great. It's about the guys who created. There's one about Uber with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's a mini series, and he creates Uber, and he gets the angel investors.
Yeah, I watched Uber. That one. Yeah.
A movie I really enjoy that I think is pretty flawless is The Whole Nine Yards.
Yes,
it's so good.
I've seen the whole 9 yards probably 30 times.
It's so
And
good every time.
The other day, Trump called everybody vermin, and I kept going, Werman? You mean Werman? Because that scene that Kevin Pollak, he's doing this, and he's like, Yemi Tedeschi doesn't deserve to be breathing. The air.
Dude, we have Soylent Heston is in the house.
Soylent Green.
And then he does, then he goes, he's lower than scum. He's worming. And then he goes, where was I? And Matthew Perry goes, Worman, I believe Worman.
That's really funny. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Oh,
here's a question I have because Lee Angelis just watched Ready Player One the other night, and it was pretty close to perfect for me. I thought the same thing. I didn't think it got the love it deserved. When I first saw it, it kind of got, I think it got raked over in the reviews when it first came out, and I watched it. I was like, what are you talking about? I thought that movie was magic.
That's
I think it as well.
I think what happened with the reviews is that it was just not like the book.
People love the book too much. Is that the deal?
Book was very good.
Yeah,
Isn't
but
it crazy?
I want to shout at those people like, hey man, Jurassic Park was better than the book. Okay. I don't care how good your imagination is. Seeing that dinosaur was so much better.
You know what's funny? It was one of my favorite books, Jurassic Park. I think
I
might have read it. So, here's what happens. No. I love Crichton. Oh, dude, Michael Crichton, Andromeda Strain, The Great Train Robbery, Congo,
Coma.
Oh, so good. The Sphere. He did Sphere. I read everything he did. So Jurassic Park's one of my favorite books of all time. So I go to the movies.
Somebody in my TikTok just said, I think the best film of all time, Shawshank Redemption.
Yes, somebody else just commented that it's perfect. It's a perfect film.
I think, it's hard for me to get better than that movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know what's funny? All these movies we've talked about, they're lightning in a bottle. Die Hard was not supposed to be Bruce Willis. Everybody had turned it down. Everything was kismet. It was McTiernan. No one, it was a bullshit film. Nobody knew what it was going to be. Everyone said no. The only guy they could get was this guy from a TV show. He says yes. His agent told him not to take it. They told him it would be the end of his career.
Oh my God.
The villain, Alan Rickman, was a theater actor.
First film ever.
First film ever.
They asked him to do a German accent, and what we got was, here's the deal. You're one of those American actors who thinks himself a cowboy. Yippee-ki-yay. Was it? That's German?
That's his German.
What realm is that German? I have watched that movie nothing short of 60 times. Alan Rickman is one of the greatest gifts to acting in the history of ever. There's no even German sound.
No.
What is this?
Jeremy Irons is his brother. In the sequel, Jeremy Irons plays his brother, and he does the full-on German accent with his English accent.
He does, doesn't he?
He does a German accent, and you're like, wow, they don't sound at all. They grew up in different homes? What happened?
And the worst stutter I've ever heard.
I forgot about that.
When he gets flustered.
And you're like, dude, what are you doing, bro?
Can I bring this around to kids for a second? We tried to show this to my son. He hated Die Hard.
What?
He said it was too slow. There was too much talking. Nothing was happening for too long.
You saw Die Hard 3?
What's that?
Try Die Hard 3.
I'll try it. But he didn't like it.
It was over 3 minutes. But what I'm saying is you're trying to remake.
Yeah.
It's like Frankenstein, the lightning hit.
Yeah.
It was perfect. Every time I see Frankenstein, I'm like, well, look, you messed up with the brain. Why don't we try it with a good brain and see if it'll work? But it was just fortuitous accident.
Yeah.
And most amazing movies are that. American Gigolo, Richard Gere was the Latin. It's always just a last second thing. I told you the Gene Hackman story from French Connection. He did not want him. He couldn't get the movie sold anywhere. Finally, Dick, the guy who made Jaws, calls him and goes, "Hey, I'm going to be fired tomorrow. I'll greenlit the French Connection, but you got to get an actor tonight."
Right.
And he goes, "I got Gene Hackman. That's it. It's the only he wanted Jackie Gleason." It all falls into place, and then to try to remake that, it's a shot in the dark. It's crazy.
It's the same with Jaws. I think sure that there was a lot of.
I know the first Jaws was like
captain,
everyone involved in the movie was like, my career's over. I'm never gonna work again.
Here's the guy from Pelham 123. He's like, I don't want to do a shark movie.
Robert Shaw.
Robert Shaw was like, no, I don't want to do a stupid shark. Why would I do it?
And he's so hungover, he can't even do the Indianapolis monologue. He's chugging pints of rum. Dreyfuss is riding him. He's telling him to go F himself. And he finally gets one take where he's throwing up over the side of the boat. He's such a drunk. The dude died at like 56 from alcoholism.
Yeah. He was amazing.
So good. He's so good.
Yeah.
So listen,
yeah.
It's not going to bother me when somebody remakes something. I couldn't care less, but it's like, it's such an iconic thing. I'm like, why waste the time and the effort to try to do it? Alec Guinness did. That's right. Alec Guinness is in Star Wars. That alone tells you what a farce.
Yeah.
Michael Caine just chose movies where they were. He goes, like, great films were shooting in the Northern England, and then Jaws 5 is in Barbados, and he's like, yeah, I'll take Jaws 5.
And the money, I think he just said it paid for his house or something.
Yeah, he's like, where's the new house and stuff? But yeah. But it's so funny because people think they can just go, oh, look, I have this beautiful script. It's gonna work. It's magic. It's not. It's so many things coming together in one little tiny instant. Right. It's being like on a show when you're on a TV show and you can just feel it, and you feel the chemistry, and you're like,
serendipitous.
Yeah. And then sometimes you feel that chemistry and it still goes awry. You're like, wow, that didn't come out in the cut. I remember shooting a pilot for HBO. I was like, Frank Langella was the acting teacher, and we were all acting students, and we shoot this thing. Todd Holland shoots it. It's supposed to take off. It's Kilroy. Everyone's like, quit your day job. And it was horrible. But the whole week we were like, we're killing it, man. This is magic. And then at the end of the week, you're like, that's not going anywhere. It's crazy. Crazy.
To bring it into the comedy realm for a second, what I think it is like when you go on the road and when there's a downturn in comedy, because now most of us here on this thing have been in it long enough to see when it goes through. It's like, oh, there's a lot of clubs, and then there's not a lot of clubs, and you know what I mean. So when the clubs are trying to get people to come back, they bring a lot of celebrities that haven't ever done a lot of time, you know. And they're like, look, you remember them from this. It's the same thing with movies. That's what a remake is. They're like, look, you guys aren't coming to see the new stuff. We're trying the new stuff, and you're not even going. It's, like there's an action movie about a guy in a building, and you're like, well, we're not going to see it. What if we called it Die Hard? You're like, oh, okay, I'll see that,
Yeah.
That's, I think what's happening every time they keep making remakes is because there's a what?
I love Salem's Lot.
Was that David Soul? Who is that?
And James Mason.
Oh, James Mason.
Open the window.
We're getting old.
David Soul. I
but
think that
was the thing. I think that's the kind of thing. I think what you're talking about, Justin, is that to remake Salem's Lot with today's technology. Somebody was bothered by the gravity in The Martian. And one person, Soylent Heston, says, imagine Tom Selleck as Indiana Jones. They offered it to him. They wouldn't let him out of Magnum PI to go shoot Indiana Jones.
I don't think
it would have been a totally different movie, but I think Tom Selleck would have been pretty good as Indiana.
I think also Lord of the Rings wouldn't be, unless the technology was there, it wouldn't have been as good. Like that was the right time.
What was that question about Jeff? I remember Jeff shot a bit.
I don't know why.
For Felicia Day's book commercial that was cut. Release the full cut, Sean.
Wouldn't it be great if Cromer comes back like right at the last second? And then
he's gone down to like a cafe 2 blocks away.
He's in a Starbucks, yeah.
It's a real drag because I reached out to Cromer to go, hey, come do the show, and
I love his work. I was so excited to talk to him.
No, he's such a good actor.
He's a good guy too. He's a lot of fun.
He's so funny, and he's a great dad, man. He wanted to do the show a few weeks ago, but he's coaching. Everybody's coaching kids. Oh my God, I don't think I told you guys this. I had So Claire, we had the playoffs last Saturday, and
What
it was
sport?
soccer.
Okay.
And they were the 3 seed, and the other team was the 6 seed, and we lost in overtime, and it was bone crushing. So here's what happens. A lot of the kids don't show up for like 6 weeks in a row, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and
No
and,
haircut.
and but the really better players show up. So we
Yeah.
crush it. All of a sudden for the playoffs, everybody shows. Everybody has to play. 3
Everybody
quarters.
plays.
Everybody
That's such a
plays.
crazy rule.
And so we end up, and listen, I love the kids. I love them. They were so sweet and kind and everything. But you know, if I was Walter Matthau, I'd be like, "You're on the bench. I'm so sorry." But everybody plays 3 quarters. So I'm sitting here I'm sitting. Oh, and half the team was like, "I won't play goalie. I'll cry." And they were crying 8-year-olds. I'd say, "Get in net," and the kid would go, and the mother would go, "She won't play net." And I go,
We have goalies.
had to have a goalie. And so
I
I
didn't know
had
they
to
have
put
goalies.
Hey,
I had to put the
weird-
scorers, the 2 girls who scored, in the net.
Fun
for a quarter.
ethical question. Ethical question. All right. Ethics question. Because they're still what, 9 years old?
8.
8.
Yeah, 8 and 9. 8 and 9.
Ethical question.
Yes.
At that age, do you learn more by losing or winning?
Losing
Losing.
by a long shot.
Yeah, yeah.
Without
But
question.
you know who didn't learn one thing from losing and just lost some sleep for 2 straight nights? Me. I didn't learn one thing from losing those
Nothing.
games. And I was fucking haunted. I literally woke up at 2:00 in the morning because here's the other thing. So here's what this is crazy. It's so crazy, dude. So we have to play everybody. The parents are screaming at us because certain kids are playing, other kids. So everybody plays, but we're trying to arrange it so we keep our strongest squad in the 4th quarter. We get to overtime, which means at overtime, you can play whoever you want. So we had a shot, and we were up by a goal with like 4 minutes left. And part of me was like, just put it. I'm the assistant coach. I was like, just put everybody in the net, just blah. But we didn't. And all of a sudden they scored and they tied it. We go to overtime. We can play anybody we want. And one girl who's absolutely the nicest person on earth. She's so sweet. It's not her jam. She's not going to be a great soccer player. And she comes up, and we keep the same squad on the field that finished the game. And she's like, and there's 2 5-minute periods for overtime, and she keeps coming. She's 8 years old, and she keeps coming up going, so I'm going in, and everyone's like, you're not going in on it. I can't. Here's the lesson I learned. I'm done coaching. I can't do it. It haunted me because if I'd have to pull some other kid. We had too many kids. We had like 3 subs, and so all of a sudden we're sitting. I mean, we had to sit like the goal scorers for a quarter. And we lost, and it really haunted everybody. And then when the game ended, parents they were so pissed at us and the season and everything. They were leaving. We had barely a goodbye of like, see you later. And everyone just was like fuming and leaving. And I felt sick to my stomach at the end of it. I really felt sick to my stomach. I was like,
They were pissed at the coaches?
Oh yeah, it's a very common.
They were pissed
thing.
at the coaches that their kids didn't play. And I get it. I get it because, they're probably all. I don't know if any are watching.
I would never do. I just asked to coach basketball to sub once, and I couldn't. I said no. What do I get
like
from?
breaking the
I was
kid's
haunted.
spirit.
I was.
It's not worth it.
It still hurt me. I'm still hurt from the whole situation, and they were all crying after. I was near tears. I was like, and it was like, I was like, what am I doing? It's like an 8-year-old soccer game. And I was like haunted by it, and it was really crushing. But you're right. I think the only thing I took from it at the end of the day was like lessons were learned. But here's the other thing. It's like we're teaching kids. There's this whole soft thing. Did you see Lane Kiffin just got lit up. This kid was playing for Ole Miss. He's on a full scholarship. He's having apparently mental health issues. And so he just disappears from the team for 3 weeks. He keeps getting calls. He doesn't call anyone else on the team. He calls people. He doesn't call anybody. They keep calling him saying, you need to come talk to the coach. You need to come talk to the head coach. Doesn't come in. Finally, 3 weeks later, he comes in. He records the conversation. The kid does. He's suing now for like $2 million, saying he was poorly treated or whatever. And the coach lights him up. He goes, dude, he goes, mental health, man. you're getting a free education. You're here playing. Either show up or don't. But I don't want to hear this crap about this stuff, man. It's like, if you don't want to play, don't play. We've offered you a scholarship. He goes, I'm kicking you off the team. And he kicks him off the team. He goes, man, I'm having mental health issues. He goes, I get it. You have to listen to it. But everyone in the comments was like, yeah, F this kid. We're raising a generation of kids who are like, they're getting out into the real world and going, they're expecting stuff as opposed to earning it. And the problem is in sports, it's like, I'm sorry. You either you start or go practice and get better and beat that kid for that position, because.
But let me go a step further. They're also doing lectures for bosses, telling them how to talk to millennium employees. Like, you've got how to not, like, make sure you have an emoji that's really positive after you send an email. I mean, they're catering to this too.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why I break kids' souls as quickly as possible.
They can't even say loser. Like, no one loses in sports. It's winners. And
last year, Hannah got a trophy for finishing in 13th place.
No, that's what.
And she was like, look at me. I go, dude.
These are ridiculous. They got out of control.
I just think and here's the other thing about mental health. I think that we're talking about it so much that the kids, like, Claire went to the office the other day. She wasn't feeling right, I guess, or something. And they were like, she doesn't have a temperature. She just feels out of sorts. She's not having a great day. And I said, tell her if she wants, I'll come pick her up, but she's going to come home and clean the house. She's not going on her iPad. She's not watching TV. She's not coming home. I'm making chicken soup and letting her watch TV for the rest of the day. She can come home. If she's really doesn't feel great, I'll bring her home. But otherwise, tell her to buck up and go back to class, because I'm not putting up with this crap. I don't know where everyone feels like, listen, I get it. The problem is there are people who have serious mental health problems, and I get that. Yeah. But we talk about it so much that everybody starts to go, wait, do I have mental health problems too? Maybe I do.
Can I jump in here?
Because I know you have mental health problems, so go for it.
Yeah, I do. I
know you do. That's why you're a legit voice here.
I would like to jump in, and here's some of the things that I have noticed. I listen to doctors who not are always, but tend to be a lot smarter than me, and what they seem to be saying is, in America, the thing that leads to the physical health problems are the mental health problems. Some of those things are stuff like being told from a young age that you're a big fucking fatty, pardon me, or you're bad at sports, or, just buck up and shut up. Those things lead to behavioral and mental problems that aren't always caught by loving parents and a society that gives a crap about them. So what happens is that turns into obesity or eating disorders or body dysmorphia or overworking. We are the most anybody wants to chime in, most overworked nation on the planet, and we're richer than the next 29 nations next to us. We take less time off and give less of a crap. I had 4 kids growing up kill themselves in high school. So when people say stuff like, just shut up and buck up, a lot of them were just putting bullets in their brain in my age. Now think about what's happening now. When I went to high school, I was in the same high school as Columbine. And since Columbine, the first big shooting that we all remember, there's been, 115 school shootings. So these kids are stressed beyond all reason. So if they want to tell me, or if the generation wants to go, hey man, when you guys were growing up, did you have 2-3 jobs? Did you rent the car that you owned out to other humans just to survive? Did your parents have other people living in their apartment just to make a rent? Because the average human in America is pressed. pressed. And that is, but it's not just the phone, Matt. The thing is that comparison is the thief of joy. And so we've got so much, but
Yes.
the carrot is led in front of us, and that is this generation. So when we're telling them like just whatever, they can't.
They're not being told whatever, dude. They're being told, listen, you have some problems. We need to work on this. And the kid, I'm telling you, man,
I agree with Kiffin. What you can do is go to Kiffin and the coach and other people who depend on you and say, I quit. Go on with the team.
There's something about taking responsibility for your own actions that I think people are not doing anymore. I think kids today are it's not their fault because they're a product of their environment. And yes, social media is a huge part of it. Absolutely.
We all need to take one of the things that I agree with Elon Musk on. I don't agree with him a lot, but I think at one point he actually had the same idea I did, which is if you could just make every online account come with your face. Everybody, that's the end.
Nikki Haley got lit up. She actually said you should have to register your social media accounts. And people were like, lost their mind because everyone's about privacy. Like people have fucking privacy anymore. Nobody has privacy.
Not about privacy.
Nobody has it. It's so funny. People are like, I want to be so private. And then they post like themselves talking on social media.
No. Yeah.
They're gonna take it from there. So yeah.
No. I'm sorry.
I think the problem with social media is anonymity. And the problem with anonymity is it breeds people's capability to say whatever they want. And you should be held accountable. You should have to stand up, hold your hand up and say, I'm saying this and believe it.
It is the best part about being on the internet that has come to like the only solace I have of living so much on the internet. And Jamie, you and I talk about this all the time. It's a full-time job to be on the internet.
It's a full-time job.
Jeff, you know this.
Our friends who are making livings on it, it's a 60, 80 hour a week. And Bert Kreischer's online all day, every day. So is Joe Coy. And kudos to all of them. Dude, Dad, everybody we know, they're on all the time. They are Truman Show.
What it occurred to me as is that any of the negative comments ever, and I mean any negative comment, it's not coming from someone with a face and a name.
That's it.
It's coming from somebody who's hiding.
Yep.
And so I know deep down that the 99% of the people who hate you on the internet would never say that to your face because they don't have a backbone to do it.
I think it's like if you...
Yeah, go ahead.
So let's ask...
No, I think it's like you call someone and you start screaming at them and then they go, why don't you come outside and we'll talk face to face? And you go, like you, I think, I mean, I have seen some really mean things that people have said because and I can understand that mindset.
Like from Jamie,
I can say all these things and no one will ever know. And I can say them and I can be tough and powerful and I can put you down, but nobody,
power. You're absolutely right.
I will argue against myself here, which is to say that I spent a lot of time on TikTok. And one of the things that TikTok did really well is they said, all right, we're going to allow something called the Stitch feature. And the Stitch feature is somebody makes a video, you take the first 5 or any 5 seconds of their video, and you respond with your own video right on the back end. So for example, just last week, there was this female sports reporter on hot takes or whatever, out routes or whatever it was called. And she's like, who let these young athletes, men, cry after a loss? What a pathetic loser he is. Men are supposed to suck it up and shut up. This guy loses and cries to his mother. And she's like, I thought real men were supposed to cry. I think all NFL teams should look at this USC quarterback and show that this is not a man because men don't do this. And I was like, I responded to that when I was like, congratulations. Men not crying is the reason they kill themselves at higher rates.
Yeah,
that's a scientific fact. By telling men that pussies, then they're just going to Boop. Now, find me someone who cries, and I'll find you someone who actually comes back down from the rage cycle that's either going to hurt themselves or hurt somebody else. Everybody in this little group here cries because it's healthy as hell.
You should have seen me sob after that game. I literally laid in bed. I laid in bed that night. I couldn't sleep. I had to try to meditate and think about other things because I kept coming back to the game. It haunted me. I do think though. I think when something is that, you talk about the suicides. I was the same. We had a bunch of suicides in my high school, and it's clusters, and it's the same thing with other things where like one kid is maybe having suicidal thoughts and is not going to do it, but some other kid does it, and they go, "Oh, I didn't." So you can do that. That kid does it, and the other kid's like, "Well, shit, if they're doing it, I'm out." So all of a sudden, it's a cluster thing, and that is so prevalent. I think, especially social media, keeps the fire going. Of going, hey man, if you're having problems, maybe you need to talk to. Do you need to talk to somebody? When you talk to my wife always does this with my kids. She asks them questions like, and I go, don't word the question that way. You're leading. It's like in a courtroom when you go, leading the witness. Right, because you're like,
Jason, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was going to say that happened to me in high school. I that's how I learned about cutting, and that's how I became a cutter in high school, was because I saw somebody else do it, and when I heard them describe why they did it, the logic made so much sense to me that I started doing it myself. But I took it to a whole other level, to the point that like family had to intervene and friends had to intervene. So there's a lot to what Jamie just said, is that once you do see that, it does affect you, because that happened to me personally.
Yeah. No, Matt is making a good point on the comments, and so when I was going to college, I went to college for communication, and there was one class that specifically talked about a new theory called Mad World Syndrome. And Mad World Syndrome was anybody watching more than 3 hours of media a day would tell you that the world's on fire and we're going to hell in a handbasket. But the same theorists had to go across the hallway at my university and be like, hey, anthropologists, is the world on fire? What are the metrics of a good life? What percentage of society is doing okay? And it turns out that everybody who was like, we're about to be the end of time, had no idea that humanity is actually doing much, 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 much better than it's ever done ever. More people are living past 40. More people are, the infant mortality rate is infinitesimal compared to what it used to be. All this stuff. But
go ahead.
No, that's it. Go ahead.
You know what changed it all? Here's what changed it all. When news started to be made for profit.
Yes.
The news channels were not for profit. They were just giving you the news. And then some guy was like, we can make money on this. And then the news channel started to make money. And then Rupert Murdoch was like, look, half the country's not really being talked to here. Let's flip the news and let's make the opposite news for those people.
I think what had happened was
just money making.
If I remember correctly, and I think I'm going to get this a little bit wrong, but from my college days, it was the introduction of cable programming meant that they could run less commercials on a different time band, and they all of a sudden started to come up in the world, and Ted Turner started CNN.
Yeah.
And CNN was the first 24-hour news cycle. And what happened was they started to eat the lunch of ABC, NBC, CBS, because by the time you get to the 5 p.m. news, CNN had already covered it. So all of a sudden, ABC, NBC, CBS had to be like, well, all right, listen, we have to be able to, no one's watching. We're not being able to sell ads up until this point. Why don't we allow us to sell ads here, and we'll try to play the game too. Like, is what you're having for dinner killing you? Find out tonight. That's when that started to happen.
Well, if it leads, it leads. It's capitalism, because you get more ad dollars for more viewers. And so the more viewers you have, the more you can charge your dollars and you make more money. And so
Yeah,
you're
back in the
not
day,
trying to tell the news. You're trying to draw viewers in.
Yeah.
So yeah,
there was a short window of time in which the televised and radio media was that third rail, where they did keep the big powers that be, the Edward R. Murrows broadcasting from, the top of the buildings and then coming back and being like, and these are the government officials who are trying to shut me down, and I'm literally coming in their territory going.
Even then, I would argue that those stories were written because Hearst, or whoever owned it's Rosebud, it's Citizen Kane.
Billionaires playing with them. Yeah.
It would be funny
the guys who own. They learned the guy who owns the newspaper is kind of in charge, and so he can do whatever he wants, and he can create his finest.
He or she who makes history is the one, or is the one who writes the tale.
It goes back to the Gutenberg press. It all goes back to the Gutenberg press when you're like, as soon as one guy figured out how to get news out, he was the guy who made the money. I know. Jeff, what do you think with your kids now in school?
Wait, can I say one thing? It would be funny if they opened up news stories with what they end with. Like if they opened up with a feel-good story of a puppy that was found at a park. And
now back to Israel.
What? Yeah.
And now back to Israel.
The feel-good stories always happen at the end.
Right.
What were you going to say about my kids?
Yeah. Do you feel the same about how do they feel about the work? Do they know about Claire sits to watch the news with me sometimes. And I think that was part of the problem too, is I watch the news. And so, and I flip around, I watch a lot of different news to kind of, find the middle ground, but she'll sit with me sometimes and I'll immediately turn it off and be like, this isn't for you really.
I know.
Because I know
in the car, I've accidentally they've heard like a news story and they say, Daddy, why do people hurt each other? Like they don't understand, or they didn't, why the people are doing things to each other like they are.
Right.
I mean, they just don't get it. And, maybe they shouldn't. I don't know.
Let me ask you a question, you guys, because I'm not a parent here and all I get to be is an uncle, but no, I don't get the deep questions in that respect. At what age do you start turning the corner and being like, look, sometimes, and I think it kind of goes back to what we were saying. I mean, Daddy, why do people hurt people? Well, untreated mental health turns into violence. Like when society doesn't care, then you get somebody who goes manic and makes a lot of sense to the downtrodden. And then they make a lot of leaps up and then say something like, and come with me and we'll go take these people on. And then those people are like, yeah.
For me, I have to actually get my kids to stop committing violence first.
On you.
It's always me.
Yeah.
I've been writing this bit about love, about the human emotion of love, because it's so funny that everyone talks about. I'm watching that doc on HBO, Mother Love. It's a cult. She starts a cult. She says, I'm Mother God and he's Father God, and love is all is love or whatever and stuff. And it's crazy. It's obviously, I was trying to equate it. It goes back, and this is up for debate because I don't know really what I'm saying about it, but the fact that love is a chemical reaction. The species, if you think about it as species, the species needed a reason for the male and the female to actually mate. Right. And so there's a chemical reaction where there's an attraction that we've termed as love, where I love this person. I want to be with them and I want to mate with them and have more, because we're like just another animal that's trying to keep our population up and stuff. And it's crazy that love to me is this emotion that we are together where we're trying to keep the species alive. But anytime anybody's murdered, it's the first person they go to. Like, it's such a strong emotion that it's the reason that we are still repopulating and continuing to grow. But anytime anyone's killed, it's the first thing that people, because love is.
You mean it's the husband? They accuse the husband first?
As soon as the spouse
husband,
is
wife,
killed,
whatever. Yeah,
it's 95% of the time. And that guy is like, oh, some weird chick in a hat was walking by 2 hours ago. I don't know. And they're like, oh, you bought cinder blocks and some chains and a new boat about 4 days ago. So
going online, look up.
we saw your Google search, dude.
Yeah,
By the
I
way,
remember the first time I heard that, and he's not. If you guys haven't, Jason, I don't know if you've ever heard this. I heard this in the bio class, that the only thing I remember from the stupid community college class I went to was there is a chemical called the love chemical, and it's called phenylalanine, and it's guess what they make it in? They artificially put it into Diet Coke. They have to disclose it, and it occurs naturally in chocolate. And
chocolate is right. Chocolate's an aphrodisiac. That's right.
Right. And so what they said was in this class, they said when chocolate or Diet Coke or phenylalanine, I'm not saying it correctly, but it's pH phenylalanine. Look up blood chemical. When it hits your tummy, it makes you feel warm, like a sudden drop. And they're like, and that is also, ironically, a falling sensation. So the term falling in love literally means it feels like you're falling.
That's super interesting.
It's weird because I do feel the same about Diet Coke that I do my wife.
Dave Schrader has the best joke. He goes, people want Disney love and they get married with children love. Our pal Dave Schrader. Well, here's the other thing with love. So apparently the chemical dissipates in your body within it's a 2-year thing. So when you're mad, that's why I don't know if you've had relationships that have lasted about 2 years, but that's right about the time where you're like, oh, there's not like mad chemical love. We are now kind of a corporation that's just moving forward to
Not
see.
there anymore.
We've joined our wagon trains and stuff. But
see, we still have violent love here.
Yeah, I know you have cosplay love. Well, you're an Iron Man suit, and everybody loves Iron Man.
I love Iron Man.
It just always it strikes me strange because to think back to those early days of humans when it was just about sex and love and your attraction to then repopulate, to keep the population going, and then to take that and every song ever is written about love and it's this mystical emotion when it's really, it's your loins fired up for somebody else. And you're like, no, I love all of them. Yeah, but would I really love sex with them is what I really...
Look at Bill Nye, the science guy Schrader there tonight.
The so-called love chemical responsible for all of it is actually, no. Jeff Bridges should read this, I believe.
Actually, the so-called, love chemical, or what have you, responsible for the actual combination of the chemicals, including adrenaline, testosterone, oxytocin, or tocin, if you're not into the whole brevity thing, man, and more, man. Hey, Dave, do me a favor, since I can't access the dude's phone. Could you look up the chemical they put in fucking Diet Coke so I don't look like an idiot here, man?
Phenylketonuria or something, isn't that what phenylketonurics is?
Thank you.
Is that the name of it? My boner is full of love. Hunter. Hunter 1976 Xbox. He said something earlier that made me really laugh.
Well, here's the again the ethical fun question I love to throw in. If it's just a chemical, and you could feel it at the beginning of a whatever for a relationship, then the real definition of what a good love is or relationship is if it were a pill, would you choose to keep taking it with that person? Now, that's the fun thing, right? Because if it's like, when you were first with somebody, that first couple of years or 2 or 3 years is like, fire, right?
Fire.
And you're like, great, right? Fire. Okay.
Keep on going. Well,
during that time, the experiences and the in and outs, the everyday part of the, life, was that part good enough to re-up the fire pill? Because then theoretically, Hunter keeps saying it does, I'm not going to lie, MDMA simulates that whole feeling.
It doesn't go into your spinal fluid or something, and it's actually, is that not right?
So what happens is essentially and I'm dumbing it down for sake of time.
For me? Is that for me?
No, for the sake of time. It's like it's a process. It's not a dumping of your spinal fluid. What it is your brain releases the amount of dopamine and oxytocin that it has on store, and it just floods your brain with it while you're taking it. It's a receptor thing, and what's happening is it's going, give him all of the good stuff right now, right? And then the next day and day after that, your body reaches for that chemical, and it's like, it's not there.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people get really depressed. It's hard to regain that stuff if you don't have a good diet, if you don't exercise. But the reason I'm even making that point is that, oh, there it is, phenylalanine.
Christy. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Phenethylamine.
We have some, by the way, can we give
The
some
best.
props to everybody
Dave.
who's watching
Trader.
the show tonight?
Thank you, buddy.
The comments tonight are off the charts.
Yeah.
They are so good.
Hunter's
It's
just a full-on, he's like, that's why I gotta smoke weed after the ecstasy, man.
Come on, man. You know.
I do wonder when I hear people say we've been married 40 years and I'm just in love with him as the day we met. I was like, really? That's impossible. That's impossible.
Anytime I see somebody on Facebook and they're like, we're so madly in love, all I can think of is like, that's a murder-suicide waiting to happen. Nobody... It's like the senators who are so anti homosexuals, and then of course it's because he's homosexual. It's like the people who are like, we're so in love. Look at our beautiful family, our pictures, and then that guy drives off a cliff with everybody in the van.
All right, I hate to be the gooey sticky one, but in the beginning, even though I have two partners, just hear me out here. In the beginning, with my wife, who I've been with for 17 years, I was like, you know what? She loves me and I love her, but really we were young and hot, right?
Yeah.
The way I love her now is, holy shit, she had other options. She was really hot. She could have gone with richer and better looking. And now
you're not feeling love. You're just feeling thankfulness. That's all. You're just you feel lucky and thankful.
Brother, what do you think love is?
You have two vaginas.
That's the dedication of time.
Yeah.
That is 15 years of her going, not for the bigger, battered pro athlete who could have made this easy. We're in an apartment, bro. Like, that's incredible. That's
raise a couple kids in that apartment, then we'll talk, brother. When she stabs you to death one night because her hormones are through the roof. Because her body has changed because she just pumped out 2 kids and she resents every inch of your body because you did this to her. Jeff, am I wrong? Jeff, back to you. I'm not wrong.
I made good decisions. I used birth control. Right. Winner chicken dinner.
We weren't given a choice. We weren't even at that point. We were checking temperatures for the day. This was going to happen. It was happening.
Yeah, you lost that.
I got bamboozled because I followed a text message home that was an alluring trap, and then bam, I got the buy one get one free twin babies that I didn't ask for this.
Nobody got worse than Jason did. Jason got the worst of all.
I'm so sorry.
Jason got the worst. Listen, and she probably resents him even more because my wife just, gained a bunch of weight and had stretched, whatever it does to your body. Jason gave his wife a stroke. She had a stroke.
I didn't give her the stroke.
Yeah, you did it. Of course you did.
It's the pure weight. It's the pure weight of your genius coming out of another human being. You're like a dying star with your DNA, and
you made her blood stop somewhere.
Chobo came in late tonight, but he's catching up with. I tripped and fell dick first. That happens.
Yeah.
That's very.
Where is he? Where is he going to come in? Is Cromer coming in?
I mean, if love is so strong, then why is the divorce rate like over 50%?
Because people are
There's
stupid.
less
And make bad
costumes than there
decisions.
should be.
People are honestly, that should just be the name. That should be the name of Earth. People are stupid and make bad decisions.
That's right.
I can't believe it's 8:21. We have talked for an hour and 20 minutes. And honestly, I think Greg Cromer was great tonight.
Oh,
hey,
he was
listen,
so good.
Cromer needs to come back every time. He was the key to success tonight.
The 3 words I understood were brilliant.
Yes.
That was honestly this group. I love it. I love it. That was the
Very
fastest
good.
show we've ever had. Of course, Justin was proven wrong in every turn by Jason and Jeff and myself.
Sure.
There's no two ways about it. I
No.
actually
I didn't
kept
take a
score.
side with anything today.
Did
I
you
kept-
keep score?
That's
Did you?
amazing.
I kept score. Jason, you actually won. You had 98 points.
Oh,
Jeff,
good.
Jeff, you had 96 points.
Oh,
I had
man.
94 points. I lost a couple on the remake, and Justin had 12 points.
I'd like to thank my parents for supporting me in this loss. This participation trophy lets me know not to kill myself. Thank you.
I just took one more point away. You have 11 points. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
I'm so thankful for these 11 points and this salt trophy.
You're holding
Feels
a weird
needy.
dildo.
You're down to 10 points now. I'm sorry. man.
Yeah.
Hey, I honestly don't want to end this. I would love to talk. And it's really, here's what's really crazy. Our numbers have gone up with each passing minute of the show.
They
Like
do
we're
keep going up.
this has never happened. We've never been at the highest number ever right
At the
when
end
we're
of the
about to
show,
sign
yeah,
up.
it is
Ever.
pretty weird.
Ever.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Hour and 20 minutes in, and apparently people are loving the fact that Justin is totally wrong in every situation.
Can
I didn't
Yes,
get
Jeff,
that takeaway
please.
from that at
I'm
all.
so glad I'm medicated.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jeff Lewis to the show.
Can I end this by showing what I looked like last week?
Oh,
Can we talk?
Jesus.
Actually, I don't really have to go anywhere. So, by the way, this is the greatest story ever. Jeff,
What the stop showing it, Jeff?
Jeff,
God.
I would love to say he chipped his tooth, but he literally chipped his tooth. He
That's
chipped
a
his
chunk,
tooth.
not a chip.
So nobody else knows how it happened. I know, but when I first guessed, my first guess was I thought Harry was on his lap and whipped his head back and knocked out Jeff's front tooth. Jason, how do you think Jeff lost his front tooth?
Well, I think he was disguised as a ghost in a haunted mansion, and some meddling kids stopped him.
Did they hit him in the face with a bat?
And look
He
at
got
that.
caught in a blasted trap.
All right. So, Justin, how do you think Jeff lost his tooth?
Trying to get up off the toilet and your legs had gone numb and you leaned forward and chunked on the front of a sink.
Honestly,
so
I'm giving
good.
you 3 points back. You're at 13 points now.
That's so good. It was the bar fight. No.
This is Jeff. Do you have a good story, or you just want to go with the one that really happened?
You want to hear a good story or the truth?
Let me hear a good story, and then tell everyone what really happened.
I was playing VR, and I was trying to punch somebody in the face right in front of me, and I punched a wall, and I fell over a chair and hit my tooth on a bearded dragon aquarium cage.
Bro.
It felt like a Claire Kramer story, Jason, didn't it?
It did, yes.
It has no logic. You punched a wall and then you fell over. Come on, you gotta clean this up. It's messy. It's messy.
I was on the porch, and I asked
we're on a
people to
porch.
please be quiet. My daughter was sleeping. So this guy from across says, "Fuck you. I'm not doing it." And I started yelling, and he threw a rock at my face.
It's getting cleaner, a little better. I feel like
I
you can
was at
still
a
do
Nazi youth rally.
it. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
I feel very strongly about the things I believe in.
But can I help a little bit? You were confused. You thought it was an anti-Nazi youth rally, but it was actually a pro.
I was raising my arm. I swear to God, I didn't know the raising. I didn't
You were just
understand it.
pointing to a balcony
And
above
I'm
you.
a Jew, and I really did not understand. I just don't know history very well, clearly. No, here's the truth. Are you ready for the truth?
This is the truth. It's so gold. All right,
I was
hit it.
biting a nail. I was biting a nail right here, like that.
Don't say that. I do that all the time. And it
it
just
broke. I broke. I thought, oh, this is a big nail I have in my mouth, because I usually take them out of my mouth after. And I was like,
stop.
oh my God, that's the piece.
Wait, good personality wants to know whose nail were you biting?
It was a nail. It was the rock nail.
It was Trent Reznor's 9-inch nail. It was a full 9-inch
bad.
nail he bit. And
It was in the Guinness Book
he
of
told
World
me his nail, and I was like I think I bit it, and I've like just a little tiny piece came off before. His whole tooth fell out from biting a nail.
Do you guys see? This is 2023. It looks just like a tooth. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Let's see it.
How do I show it to you? Hold on.
Just come close. Come closer to the camera. What do you mean? How do I show
That's
it
great.
to you?
It looks great. It looks great. It looks great.
There's like some parts
I mean,
there on the left, so.
it's you can't even tell. I mean, I guess you can, but maybe.
You know what made me laugh so much? Because you have just reiterated what I've believed for years. Because my kids, like my wife's always like, they got to brush their teeth, and I'm always like, do they? Dentistry's really good these days. I'm like, they can fix their teeth, and they'll fix it in the afternoon. It's not like when I was a kid, dentistry was like, archaic, man. They were still like putting leeches in your mouth and bloodletting, a lot of bloodletting. Dude, nowadays they can pop.
When did you grow up, and in what?
Dude, please. At the time, they thought I had goblins, like little ghouls and pixies, were living in my teeth. They were gonna pull them all. It was like the 19.
They use
do you know in the early 1900s they thought mental illness. They thought this is absolutely true. Watch the Nick; it's really good. They thought mental illness was caused by something up in your teeth. And they would pull, if somebody was crazy and mentally ill, they'd pull all their teeth out and go and that'll help and that'll fix it. In a way, it does help because then at least, they can't bite, I guess, at that point.
That's true. That's true. Good
but
point.
now dentistry, dude, you can go in, in 2 hours, they'll put posts and just replace all your teeth. It's crazy. That's every time I see somebody. We were in middle of the country doing a show, and I go into Dunkin' Donuts, and this woman, nice looking woman, middle-aged. She seemed like a nice person. She was missing a front tooth. And she's like, "Hey, how are you this morning?" I was like, "Hey,
you're in my town."
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it, but I was in your town.
That's my mom. Yeah, she's great.
And she didn't have a front tooth. And as I was ordering a coffee, in the back of my head, all I could think of was like, I don't know what's on your to-do list for today. I got news for you. The tooth is number one. I don't care if you're getting evicted. What's happening? You have got to fix that tooth, dude.
Doesn't Dunkin' Donuts have a health plan? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Not here, Jeff. We
got health plan. What are you talking about? A health plan, Jeff?
A dental plan.
They have a plan to take them out, not to put them in.
Who on this earth loses a front tooth and goes, ugh, well, that's gone. Let me just move on with my day. See what's happening.
Can I tell you who?
Can I tell you who?
Yeah, who?
People who've tried methamphetamines.
Yeah, that's true. Well, those people just go, "Hey, what's this? Oh, it's my tooth. Whatever. Where's meth?
Listen,
give me more
man. Listen, methamphetamine. Methamphetamine, from what I understand, from the people who have been to the other side and back, they're like, "Listen, you don't miss your teeth."
No, I don't.
Apparently, it's that kind of good. So,
well, here here's Nick Time or Newsweek dubbed here Meth Valley, and so we had a real problem with it. Is because when they get really hopped up on it, they start taking off all their clothes because they get overheated, and they start looking for water. We had a problem with them licking the sidewalks here for salt for a little while. So like you'd find naked people either driving towards lakes or licking sidewalks. And it was a legitimate thing that happened here, far more than I was comfortable ever seeing.
Yup.
But on a positive note, rents are low there. Low rent.
Yeah.
Cost of living's very low. So
milk is cheap.
It's risky to own waterside property here.
Yeah,
it's also where they filmed The Walking Dead, apparently. I don't know.
That's a based on from here.
It's a documentary. What are you talking about?
That's real.
Listen, it's now 8:30. My wife's
I gotta go.
How long is this show going? Honestly, this might be our lineup for a few weeks. This was so much fun. Thank you to hey, by the way, everybody. Jobo, Soylent, Heston, excellent. Waiter, Kyle Vane, Zombie DNA, Dan Wally, excellent Walter, Ichi, Ryoko Muyo, Freddie B. I didn't even see him was here. Critter Nation 3000. Oh my God, you guys made me laugh. Listen, the whole point of the show, we talk about it every week. It's parental mental health. That's it. So I feel a lot better. I hope everybody else does. Justin, you don't have kids, so I hope you feel terrible.
Big thanks to Greg Cromer for all he contributed tonight.
Yeah, very slow internet. Great.
Cromer.
All right.
Not contribute much. I love you guys. All right, that's it.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving. We love you, people.
Everybody have. Hey, we didn't even talk about. We didn't really talk, we'll talk about. We'll do a Thanksgiving catch up next week.
Yeah.
Do we have a big guest next week? Who's coming?
Yet.
We have a couple. No.
My dentist.
No, they're
28th. We have drum roll. Dustin Nickerson.
Dustin Nickerson's here. Minnie Sterling's back.
And December 12th, Jeff Belanger's coming in to talk about his new book.
Belanger's coming in. Minnie Sterling. She's done it a bunch with her son too. Is awesome. All right.
Hey, we're gonna be on Sirius XM. Jamie and I will be on Sirius XM this weekend with our Thanksgiving bit for parents.
You'll hear that.
Check that
all this weekend. We're going to be on the Mom Cave TV, I believe.
Yes.
We'll pump
Yep,
that
we're
out.
going to start, and you're pretty soon going to be able to find us on Roku and Apple TV.
That's true. So listen, thank you. We appreciate everybody coming in and playing the game along with us. We love your comments. It was super fun. Jeff Lewis, Justin Ruppel, Jason Gowan, I'm Jamie Kaler. We will see you guys next week here on the Parents Lounge.
Good night, everybody.